So, I guess it was March, beginning of March. I made the biggest change that I've ever made in terms of how I structure support I need in being the best I can be. Since I was like 21, 48 now. I know you're like, Chris, there's no way you're 48. Thank you. Anyway, uh, when I was like 21, I had a role that had an assistant. I've worked with an assistant in some way for 27 years. And the big change that I made a few months ago was I replaced my human assistant with basically an AI assistant. Now, for some people, they're at this place where they're like, "Oh, he's talking about AI. I don't want to hear about AI. AI. Ooh, I'm afraid of it. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's going to ruin the world." Whatever your takes are on that, and I agree with you. There's so much deployment that's happening that's dysfunctional. I'm going to get into some of that. Hang tight. Um, if you're playing with the free versions, what I'm going to walk through today just doesn't make sense to you. It'll just be like, what? There's no way. And in fact, next session, a week from today, I haven't welcomed you to even what we're doing, but I'm about to. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you mine. I'm going to show you my AI. And I think for most people, it'll be like, what in the heck? That's possible? Yes, it's possible and it's happening. So welcome to Lunch with Chris, YouTube Live, noon Eastern on Wednesdays. I've already had lunch. I had a smoothie. I love my smoothies. Accidentally drank Mark's smoothie, and I didn't get mine. And now Mark's in my shot. You're in my shot. If you get the "you're in my shot" joke, you're politically informed. And a politician lost her mind over somebody coming behind her in a shot, which was so stupid. Anyway, while I'm walking through our sessions here at YouTube Live, Lunch with Chris, you can drop what stands out to you in the chat, ask questions. Then I'll do questions at the end, germane to the topic, or just wide open to leadership. That's what we're here doing. Next week, though, I'm got some big news to share with you today. Next week, I'm gonna walk you through what I'm experiencing, just to give you a under the hood look at AI. But why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Because what I saw, and it's why I made that change in March, blew my mind and only continues to blow my mind, and it haunts me. It haunts me because we're all wired up different. You got some things you do in the world that are great. I got some things I do. There's some things you can't do. There's some things I can't do. True to all of us. I'm great at training leaders. Like, I know how to train people, move them from A to B. Is it the highest end, greatest possible executive you could imagine, business owner, and move them further? I'm down for it. Frontline employee, how to move into showing up better as a frontline employee, I'm down for it. And really, the relationship I had with my assistant, my human one, it was great. It was great. We were already integrating AI. I've been using AI in some way for about 3 years. The most responded to email our company has ever sent out up to like 2022 was one that AI helped me write. It wasn't AI slop. I mean, I was very involved in it. And so I've been playing with the edges as they show up, but really not diving into what it looks like to build an agent. And so that's the world I'm living in now. And if you've got extra Fable tokens, I'll take them. I need them. If you know on that one. And so the big thing is what today is about. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the unveiling. Could I get a drum roll, please? The book is out. The book is live. Now, this is the not for resale copy. That's what that band across the image is. And I'm bummed I didn't have the new copies are on their way. They'll be here, I think, Monday. But you can get it on Amazon now. You can get it to your place where you live in 2 days or less for most of the continental United States. And weirdly, last month's book sales, we sold to Germany, and there's always weirdly countries popping up in book sales. I don't know why. I wish we could figure all that out. But so wherever you are in the world, it should be available. And this book, unlike any other, and I hated that the one I'm sharing with you covers up part of the image, because this is what's so cool. So the title is The 3% Shift. Now I'll stop right there. I'm going to go through the 3% shift in the book. I'm going to anchor that for you. I'm going to introduce that to you today, because if you're not paying attention, there's problems all over. Here's just a few. IBM handed HR to AI. It handled 94% of routine requests, couldn't handle the rest, the ethical calls, the human calls. And so now IBM is tripling entry-level hiring, because their take is this, my wording, the market just repriced the 3%. The machine takes the doing and the human part is coming back. And I think it's fascinating that they handled 94% of routine requests, that 6% couldn't be handled because they required some level of what I introduced to you in the model, imagining a way forward, discerning, and building relationships. I'll come back to those. And the 3%, it's a convergence zone. So I take all the best research that's out there and show you why this range is so critical and why we need to know this, because there are lots of people that are doing harm with it, and their CEOs running into meetings going, this is what my AI told me, y'all just go do it. And they're not actually prepared and ready to build a team of highly competent humans, and they're letting the AI validate them. So they're just rushing in with a plan. Second thing I think you're going to see happen is a lot of people get distorted relationally, because it's an always on presence that can interact with you and tell you all the things you want to hear. I think third, I don't see how, and I hope I'm wrong on this. I hope I'm very wrong. I don't see how you don't have massive fast adoption in 6 to 9 months, big workplace disruption. And then over the next couple of years, it kind of normalizes and everybody's supported by AI in the different domains of your life in some way. You'll have a financial, you'll have a health, you'll have all these different components of your life, like operating in the background. It's where it's all going. You can disagree. Everybody's, that's prognosticating can't predict the future with perfect accuracy. No one can, but it's here and it's getting better every day, and companies are messing up how they do it. And we'll get to that in a second too. Lower value human capital. Let me give you this. Standard Chartered CEO told investors AI is replacing lower value human capital. What a freaking phrase to use. What a cold person, what a cold way to describe humans. This is definitely someone who yells at the DoorDash driver for being late. This is definitely someone who treats people that take care of them in service-based roles like they're expendable. So he apologized on LinkedIn, but the language is to tell. You speak out of the heart. The way you talk is coming out of the way you view the world, and he can change. I hope he can change it. He should reach out to us. We could take him through, figure that shift out, and he would go through a great transformation. But ultimately, this is going to empower a lot of people to become pharaohs who are just counting their brick stackers. And they've got a fancy AI dashboard to do it with. Meta's town hall. This was interesting. July 2nd, Zuckerberg told the staff the AI agents have stalled for months. In the same meeting, his AI chief claims their unreleased model just caught the frontier. 2 leaders in one room, and really neither secure enough to say we don't know yet. So I want to emphasize that. We don't know yet. And what I do know, not about the models, not about implementing it, even though next week I'm going to talk about my implementation. What I do know is what's more important than ever is we've got to figure out where the human begins and ends and where the AI begins and ends. And how we're going to do that. Well, we've made a bet as a society. I saw this bet up close and personal. When I was like 24 or 25, I was brought into a leadership team role. And there was the number 2 was a retired colonel. He was an awesome leader, ran a great operation, right? Operationally minded. And I am wired up how I'm wired up. I'm obsessive about learning where I'm curious, and I'm curious about 3 domains, and one of those is leadership. And I had devoured more leadership than even at 24 or 25 than most people will read their whole lives. I had tons of real life experience, well beyond my age, tons of pressure, tons of challenges, tons of intense situations that was forming me. And before long, all the other leaders, when they were seeking advice, were coming to my office, not his. And he saw that. And this man who is secure in who he is came to me and said, I see they're coming to you and they're not coming to me. And I think you need to be the number 2. And he made that recommendation, and that change was put in place. He stepped out of the role, retired from it. We had a good relationship. He was a reference for me in a resume after that. So it wasn't like it was bad, but I was wired up for like this fast processing. And so much of work life is built around things you do at the computer where you're asking it to process some things and you're processing some things. And the mix of that has been what it's been for the last few decades with email and internet. And as things got digitized, this is completely different. What's it look like to actually interact with something that can be incredibly brilliant? I mean, yes, profoundly stupid still in many instances, but if you play with the bleeding edges, you'll see that profound brilliance. And in a weird way, I could say it, I read this, I love it. We've turned sand into silicone into God. I mean, whoa. We're not ready. We're not ready. Mark says that all the time. I love it. So the 3% shift is about 97% of the work. Everything that can be automated will be automated, is going to go to AI. And AI will do better work than 97% of humans. It can outconverse them because their mind is full of so many insecurities, improving and hiding, and they hedge and they're vague and they don't push themselves to explore new ideas, and they're committed to their view of reality, not willing to upgrade their view of reality. And so it's going to outconverse and outperform 97% of humans. And we got all kinds of downstream issues that are going to come from that. How do we get younger workers that are going to get hard fought for experience? So what I'm trying to do is say the 3% shift, and what's covered up here, but it just says the human edge in the age of AI. So we're entering into a new age. We're already there. Where does the AI begin and end? Where does the human begin and end? And the reason this is so powerful to me is because visually they captured this in the cover design. They did awesome. A member of our team. You've got the painting here. You know this from Michelangelo. And we've got the human hand reaching out to the digitized hand. We're saying a lot with that image. And if I gave it to you this way, it's just this. While it's profound, AI is not going to rescue our society. It's not going to rescue you. It might replace you. It is going to replace workers. But what it will do for sure is reveal you. It will mirror to you the kind of leader you are. If you can't train it, it's going to reveal the inconsistencies in your ability to train. Don't be defeated over that. Just get better. If you want validation, we're coming out of an era, the social media era, where algorithms tune perfectly to affirm and validate the things you want validated, the dopamine hit you want. You want that in your feed, it's in your feed. You like those kind of videos, it's going to give you more of those videos. This is at a whole nother level, the way it will tune to you to validate you. Now, if you haven't played with the frontier models, you don't know what I'm saying. So I felt a moral obligation to get this book out, to say this 3% shift. What does it look like for us to be in that 3%? You know, what I quoted from you from the IBM situation, you know, the ethical cases they couldn't handle. So what I give you in this book is a model so that you can keep the human edge, so that you can know this is the best you offer to your family, to your spouse, to your kids, to your business, to your leadership, to your teams, to your friends. This is the essence of what it means to be a human. And the 3 parts of this model, I'll give them to you briefly here. You can get more in the book. The first is imagine. Ultimately, you may think you're creative or not as a person, but because we are created in the image of the divine, we have this capacity to imagine what isn't and see it become a reality. I mean, that's the necessary function of leadership. That's where leadership starts. Leadership starts with seeing something that is not yet real, seeing something that is even impossible, seeing something that is unimaginable. Then it becomes imagined and becomes real. So the first piece of this model is to imagine what is unseen. Even the fact that we have AI, it's out of our imaginings. If you build an agent, it'll be what you imagine it to be. And if you can't imagine it, you can't lead towards it. I mean, that's kind of like a baseline reality of so many people in a false ceiling of their leadership. They can't give what they don't have. Second piece of the model, discern what is wise. Part of the reason that I've had such a profound experience with mine is because I could load in, well, before this book, 11 other books, hundreds of hours of recording, hundreds of hours of content and podcasts that exist out there. My voice, it has access to all of my digital files. So it's been able to learn me very well, and it can produce things that are the most me I've ever seen something else produce. And yet, there are times where I'm applying discerning what is wise, taste and judgment, because I have what I imagine. Perfect example of this just happened today. I mean, that's the thing. I could tell new stories every day. With the book coming out yesterday, I wanted to add on my email. You know how when the iPhone came out, people would be like, sorry, excuse the typos, type in with my thumbs, whatever. I wanted to add to my email, hey, my email now, heads up, is handled by my AI chief of staff, and be patient with us as it learns and I learn to live in this new world. I like that wording. That's the spirit of what I wanted to communicate. First, I just said, hey, come up with a footer that we can start adding to emails. Well, it shot back something from its taste, which was, hey, I'm Chris's chief of staff. I see everything. Treat this as coming from Chris. I got what it was trying to do, but it made me too self-important. I didn't want that. I didn't want that tone. That would be something like you would say to a large company with lots of employees. Hey, I need to hear from Chris on this. Well, you're hearing from his chief of staff. You're hearing from him. I got what it was doing, but I didn't want that going out in every email. It was the wrong tone. So I applied discernment, okay, a sense of judgment, taste, to get it to where I wanted it to be. I have to do that. So the challenge is going to be that for a lot of people that are coming in early to something they don't have a lot of taste on, they've got to get reps and they've got to develop their taste so they can make these kind of judgment calls. I had a sales call and it's all processed out and systematized. It built something that was just too cumbersome. I was like, this is too much. It's too busy. But the AI can get smarter based on my discernment, and it can apply rules to not make that mistake again. And I have a whole protocol I use for that. Maybe I'll share that next week. Third part of the model, build what lasts. This is the thing that like most people don't get. Like the AI can scan everything, but it can't truly pull down the imaginings that are leaps forward from what you're currently experiencing. And you may not think you're a creative person, but again, I'll say that we all have this capacity. Of course, there are people that you're connected to that are like visionary, creative, whatever. But we all have the potential to see a problem with a new perspective and find a way forward. So the AI can scan everything, but it's the imagination that's key. AI can get all the information, but it doesn't discern with the same level of wisdom we do. And it will keep imagining better and keep discerning better, but it doesn't put a stamp on a decision. There's no soul in the room. There's nothing at stake. Third, why do we imagine? Why do we discern? To build what lasts. What lasts? Relationships. I mean, I will today, after this, roll through 4 back-to-back meetings. And I've already had some meetings today But for those 4 back-to-back meetings, I've reviewed my notes. I'll roll into each of them. My AI prepared briefs. It's all part of a system. It has things in those briefs. It remembers things that I would never remember. I'm going to remember the substantive issues that I need to help advance someone on, or a team on, or organizational leadership. But it is just comprehensive in the details. And it's going to remember forever that Bill was supposed to get a report into me. I'm using a fake situation here, but you can imagine this. Bill was supposed to get a report into me. Bill didn't get that report into me. This AI will remember that forever. What it won't do is connect with Bill and say, Bill, what's going on? Why didn't that report come in? Oh, he's got a personal situation. He needs support in it. Glad I asked. He didn't feel like he could do it. Whatever. All the human trappings and insecurities that could have shown up. It could have been a personal situation, could have been his own stuff, self-sabotaging in some way. I can forgive Bill and coach him to something. And there's no depth of relationship that happens. Team, organizations, communities, families, personal relationships, without a continual deposit into those relationships. It's a constant building. And building what lasts is to build relationships. AI has all this knowledge. Knowledge puffs up. Love builds up. We build people. We spend so much time at work. Why wouldn't we want to be in relationships where we're building each other up? I mean, this should transform us and make us better as husbands and fathers and mothers and whatever. So it's build what lasts. That's the point of it all. And AI has this great memory. It's amazing. It also cannot sit with somebody and give them belonging. It's going to give them trappings of it. That's why people are going to build digital relationships with these AIs. They're going to feel more special to them than human relationships. And we're going to have to figure that out, because what mine knows about me is profound, and it can send me the most amazing messages, like incredible. I showed one to Mark recently, and he was like, that's what like a great friend would text you, except this friend knows so much about you. And we better keep in view that the point is relationships, or we get lost in what is going to feel like a relationship. This is persistent to me, because in having support staff for Site Shift for the last, decade plus I've been doing this, they were usually in another location. So I was interacting through text and email. Well, that's what I'm doing with my AI. It's not another person on the side, but sometimes I think that, like, I wanted 6 or 7 revisions back and forth on something to get it really perfect a few weeks ago. And it's at revision 5, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going to wear them out. No, I'm not. They're not real. What's it going to be like? And this is not hard for me to imagine, when I give my AI a voice and a presence, and I can have a video chat with it. That could be here in 3 weeks. That could be here in 3 months. I'm up for it. It'll be fun, because I have in place a operating model, imagine, discern, build, which is what I walk through in the book, that protects me from losing my way. This is why I felt a moral obligation to get this book out, because the challenge is going to be greater than ever. And most of the people I'm contacting or connected to or serving in some way are leaders. They're not in the terrified place with it. Some of them are going to be in the euphoria of it. It can do what? And so I wanted to get this book out to help us. It's not a book that goes through the tools. It's not a book that goes through the models you should use. It's not a book that does anything at that level, because that'll be outdated. I mean, it would already be outdated now if I tried to do that. It is ancient, timeless wisdom that will help you. So today's CTA, very simple and clear. I want you to get a copy of the book. Go to 3percentshift.com. Hardback, paperback, Kindle are available. We'll get an audiobook version loaded soon. And wrestle with it, apply it, come back next week to lunch with Chris. And in the coming weeks, because I'm going to be talking about this more, Bring your thoughts, bring your questions, and I'll be as helpful as possible to you. We need to get ready for it because it is the dumbest it'll ever be, and it gets smarter every day. And the tech is not the issue. It's the human we bring to it. And that's what we want to get locked in. Thank you for being here today at Lunch with Chris. I'll hang around. If you got some questions, feel free to throw into the chat what stood out to you, a question about this, a question about leadership. We love helping you grow. I hope you have a great Wednesday. And I was so excited to get in the conversation. I haven't even sipped my coffee yet. I'm 25 minutes behind having my noon coffee. I'll be all right, though. I'll be all right. Have a great rest of your day. Stay at the human edge. Live that 3% shift. Peace out, everybody.